Hi Gail, Louise, Chris and all members of the Advertising Campaigns unit at QUT. I found the unit really beneficial to me. It made you see how advertising agencies work in the real world, and now that I do have a job in an advertising agency, I'll be able to put it all into practice, which is pretty cool. So we had 5 different roles for our campaign. There was the account manager, account planner, media, creatives and digital producers. 4 of them, everyone excluding the manager, had a pretty in-depth role that they had to follow, and the manager was kind of somebody who just made sure that everyone stayed on brief and everything went to plan. So every role was really important. And if they didn't do what they wanted, it's most likely the campaign wouldn't either go live or succeed in our role. So it was really important that we stuck to our deadlines. So I was the account planner, and the definition of planning is to translate data and analysis and research and change it into campaign goals and objectives and insights. And that's exactly what myself and the other account planner, my partner, did during this time. So we made sure that we did a lot of important research, including primary and secondary data. So with primary research, we did some surveys and some interviews, and secondary, of course, just lots of research online and some academic journals to find out what would be the best consumer insight for our campaign, and that's exactly what we did. So according to statistics, it's really important to have a planner in an agency because it is one of the most powerful sources of any major international agency. So it is really important that you get the facts right and make sure that they go exactly to plan and everyone sticks to brief and comes up with a great consumer insight. That's exactly what we did as well. We made sure that we came up with a good consumer insight, and we worked really well together, got straight in as soon as we heard the brief, and we'd come out with our consumer insight by the end of week 3, pass it on to the team, and as well as all of our research to make sure that we could get along and get ahead with our campaign. So at the beginning, we ran really well as a team. We all got along really well. But once we got to the creative side, it took them a little bit of time to get their idea and their big idea out. And once they did produce it to the team, it was completely off the brief and not relating to the consumer insight at all. So that formed actually quite a bit of conflict within the team. There was a bit of fighting online and in the group meetings, which made it pretty difficult. But yeah, according to the Journal of Advertising, conflict is a major part of advertising agencies. And this is because of there being so many different personalities and roles within an agency. So you've got people who are very analytical and just straight to the point with numbers, as well as people who are creatives. And conflict also arises due to people when they work so hard on something that they're set on and then someone criticizing it or saying it's wrong, it does cause a lot of conflict. So it is really evident in an advertising agency, and we did find that in our group. So in the end, we ended up having to talk to the creatives and say, if it's not on brief, it's not going to be a great campaign, it's not going to do well. So they ended up changing their ideas to fit with the brief, and it ended up working out, although there was still a little bit of tension. So from that, I learnt that it is really important to set your differences aside and work together no matter what you think, and to just take everything on the chin, even if you're correct or incorrect, and make sure that it's going really well, because otherwise it's not going to work out as a team, and then your campaign's not going to work out either because there's no support put into that throughout the team. So this unit has been really different to other advertising units I've done at QUT, opposed to just having 3 standard assignments or assessment pieces that are all relating, that everyone does the same thing. It's all relating to specific topics. This one delves really deep into just focusing on your one role, and it just has 5 steps to let you really understand your role and get full into it, which is sort of a lot more similar to something in the real world opposed to just learning assignments. So I found it really beneficial and actually pretty interesting to see what how much information account planners have and what they do. So yeah, I really enjoyed the unit, and I think it is a great way to start the real world in my new job in advertising. So thank you.